Hi guys, again this is Taylor here, new episode of New at the Zoo. Again, I'm the newest member of the marketing team here at the Topeka Zoo, and there's a lot of stuff that goes on that I just really wasn't aware of myself. So I thought this would be a great opportunity to kind of take you guys along with me on this journey. So today we have Tracy. So Tracy, tell us what you do here and kind of who we have here today as well.
Yeah, so I am one of the carnivore keepers. I typically work on this north side of the zoo, and joining us here is Cassie. She's a 14-year-old female cougar, soon to be 15 next month.
Happy birthday, I feel like I should say that. And so, as we were talking about earlier today, I did a little research.
Yeah.
And so there's multiple names for a mountain lion, that's right?
Yeah, I mean, there's actually 40 different names. In the Guinness Book of World Records, the cougar is the animal that holds the most names of anybody. So
Really?
40 different names, and no, I cannot even begin to name them all. Cougar is the term I usually use. You know, a lot of people say mountain lion. It's not wrong. Puma, you know, catamount. There's different names you can use. None of them are wrong. A lot of it's based on the region where the cat is, and other times it's just simply a preference. You know, I want to call him cougar, I want to call him mountain lion, you know, whatever.
Cool. So I see you have a little
Yep.
bowl in your hand. Tell us what's in there.
So yeah, this is a very typical diet of any of our carnivores here at the zoo. So same goes for Cassie. She's a carnivore. We have horse meat. Because of her age and for extra care of her kidneys, we have senior horse meat. So it's a little cleaner. It's not as hard on the kidneys. And then we also have canned cat food that is Science Diet Kidney Care. Our friends at Hills does supply that for us very generously, free of charge.
Oh, hey, shout out to them. That's awesome.
Yeah, big shout out to them. It is awesome.
That's awesome. And I heard that Cassie does really like you, right? You guys have a good bond, right?
You know, I don't have to have food to make her interactive, but this is part of her normal feeding time right now, which can vary, but a couple times a day. Yes. So, she's definitely into her food, as almost everyone is. So she'll respond.
She's
you know,
so tall.
She'll respond very well. So she's only 91 pounds. You know, again, that's a female, so she is going to be smaller than, say, a male cougar.
How big do they get?
So males can get, you know, 150 range.
Oh, wow.
Our male that we had here, he was 140, 142. He was a pretty good sized boy. We do watch their weight pretty carefully. Being in human care, we don't want them to be overweight. Cassie here certainly is not overweight. She's not under either. She's a smaller cougar. I wouldn't even mind her weighing a few more pounds, but she doesn't miss any meals. She enjoys her food, whether it's the horse meat here that you see or her kidney care Science Diet food. She eats all of that very well. And here in the lane, this is a regular spot that we do work with her. So we do a lot of training with our animals. Cassie's no exception. We kind of have this log here in the middle, and then on this other side we have a couple flaps where we can pull her tail out. We can do blood draw, we can do injections, you know, vaccines, whatnot. We can also get her blood pressure from her tail. And
from her tail?
Yep.
Interesting.
Yep. So she lets us do that here in the training area. Of course, we're feeding her while we do it. But it's important because, one, it kind of reinforces our bond with each other.
Sure.
She does trust me and the other keepers. And also, we don't have to anesthetize her to, say, get a blood sample or...
And anesthetize means?
So we don't have to put her to sleep.
Gotcha, okay.
Which is important because we do that once a year. We don't want to do it any more than we have to.
Okay.
You know, it can be dangerous doing it more.
Absolutely.
So the more you do it, the more susceptible they are to heart failure, etc.
Gotcha.
So yeah, and then I also have some fish juice in here that I took from the otter bowl. fish juice is by far one of her favorite things. She has some favorites like meat flavored baby food, but fish juice is definitely one of her favorite things. I typically give this to her inside, but we can just try it right here.
Oh yeah, she loves it. Get it, Cass.
You know, inside the floor is a little cleaner, but this little spot's not too bad. We did get a bunch of rain, so this is a little dirtier than it normally is. Just to defend myself a little bit.
And as we were talking earlier, so she does not roar like a lion does, right?
Nope. Yeah, and she can't. So the cougar is the biggest cat that cannot roar. So they purr. They do make other vocalizations, but it's more like kind of squeaky-like.
Squeaky.
Yeah. It's hard to give you an example. You might have to look that up, like on YouTube or something. Yeah, it's a strange sound. You don't really picture that coming from a big cat like this.
Okay.
But yeah, they communicate with some vocalization, some body posture, scent marking, and even with their ears. So, you know, if her ears are back, another cougar would know, I better
something's going
stay
on here.
Or, yeah. We never have direct contact with them. We always have protective barrier between us and the animal, obviously unless we're doing an annual knockdown. So she doesn't really give us those postures.
Sure.
She's not very vocal. Like
just in general?
This cat in particular is not very vocal. And I've never heard her purr, but I have heard other cougars purr. It's kind of like with humans, you know, they have their own personality and their
so they have their own kind of sounds and things like that.
Their own tendencies to do this or that, and she just doesn't.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's very interesting.
Yeah.
I love that. So I also, like I said, research. So for the most part, do they have any natural enemies or no? Because
well, essentially, an adult cougar does not have a natural enemy. Now, of course, you got humans. You know, we are now their enemies because of everything that we destroy and hunt for fun. You know, a cougar is not an animal you're going to hunt to eat, you know. So, you know, the good thing is cougars are least concern. So on the conservation scale, you know, there's estimated 50,000 out in the wild, which is not a concern. You know, us being an AZA zoo, we don't breed cougars because it's not necessary. But she was a rescue from the wild.
Okay.
So she was rescued from the Cascade Mountains, which covers a few states, but Washington State was where she was rescued.
Okay.
And unknown reasons, no mother, so she was rescued. Eventually went to the Denver Zoo, and then shortly after came to us. So we've had her most of her life.
Okay.
Cascade Mountains, Cassie. So that's how she got her name.
Got it. I see the correlation there. I love it.
It all makes sense once you learn about it.
Yes, absolutely. So what is their kind of main food that they kind of eat when they are out in the wild? We heard about her diet here, but what do they eat out in the wild?
Yeah. So a healthy cougar is not gonna attack humans and not going to try to eat humans. So their normal diet can be anything from a deer, even a moose, not necessarily an adult moose, but and on down. So the lower end of the scale could be anything from grass to insects.
Okay.
You know, snakes, lizards, all that, rabbits,
so
all that.
Are they omnivores then? Is that
They are carnivores.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
They are, you know, sometimes like our house cats eat grass and it gets rid of something in her stomach.
Got it.
Cougars do that same type of thing.
Okay.
In fact, they're known as the largest cat that is most similar to a house cat. She has a lot of those same tendencies.
Yeah, you could tell. I mean, you feel like everyone who has a cat that knows that they kind of scratch and gnaw on little
all
things.
That kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Now, like I said earlier, we don't think she's friendly and wouldn't attack us and try to kill us, because she would. She is a wild cougar, but you will see a lot of those same tendencies.
Yes.
They do not make a good pet. So just to be clear about that, yeah, you don't want to have a pet cougar.
Perfect. Okay. Is there anything else that we feel like we need to let everyone know about Cassie? Anything else I missed? Other than she's super cute.
Yeah, I mean, you know, people enjoy seeing her. She sometimes, especially with kids and stuff, she'll go up to that front viewing glass and she'll just lick the glass. She'll go up on that little ramp that we have and just lick the glass. She can be very interactive, very fun.
What are her days, or what are her times of day? Is she more active in the day, in the night?
Well, if you come here at the zoo first thing in the morning, she is almost certainly going to be laying in her den, just kind of resting, sleeping.
Okay.
I often wake her up just when I'm checking on her, you know, just to make sure everything's okay.
Of course, of course.
Like most cats, you know, they lay around a lot. They're not out here, she's not out here running around, jumping and all that stuff. Especially getting a little older, but
of course.
You know, cougars are great climbers, so sometimes she is up on one of the logs that we have within the exhibit.
Okay.
One of the logs that's going up higher. She's very comfortable up there, as cougars are.
Right.
Occasionally you can actually see or sometimes hear her playing with certain enrichment, like we have some hard plastic balls, and she will bat them around the yard, like a 5-gallon water bottle. She'll bat that around. Sometimes bowling ball. It is hard to catch her doing it, but she regularly plays with that stuff when I give it to her.
That's interesting.
So
we might have to catch
fun.
that. We might have to catch that.
Yeah.
Well, if you do want to come down and check out Cass, she is in the Kansas Carnivore section area. Come check her out. If you see Tracy, say hello. He's so welcoming. He will say hello back. Again, Taylor here. We will be back next week with another episode, so stay tuned.